Ormon! Ormon! Ormon, I gotta film part 2 intro of Gamera part 2 trilogy review. Where'd you go? Oh yeah, he left with Gamera. Shit. Yeah, Gamera gets cut up a lot by like little Legion baby things. Gauss shoot lasers at him a lot and he bleeds. People get like fucking turned into blood splatters a lot. A lot of people get sent flying by Gamera when he's trying to kill a bunch of Gauss in the third movie at the opening. It really gives you the idea he stopped giving a fuck about humans because he is just shooting flames left and right and just landing on top of them and walking on them. Like, it's nuts how many people he just killed. Like, he's never super careful in the first two, like, movies. It's pretty uniform. But, like, the third movie, he is, like, angrily just destroying everything and does not care. And yeah, then, like, monsters get parts of them ripped off. Like, you see dead Gauss a lot with chunks missing. A bunch of baby egg Gauss things splattering. Legion gets his head thingy, laser horn ripped off, and it's gross, and legs get blown off by the military when they decide to help. The movies were always, like, kind of violent, even, like, the Showa ones. And these definitely carry the torch. Like, they are so bloody and pretty gory at times. And it's amazing. And I did mention how, like, his humanity is kind of just gone. Or his link to humanity is gone by the third movie. Because in the first movie, he does actually, like, protect people. Yeah, even in the third movie, when he seems to care very little about people, he still saves the girl that, like, hates him. Because there's a girl that despises him after he accidentally kills her family in the events of the first movie, when he just tears through a building. Or at least that's like her nightmare memory sequence, is him just tearing through a building to get to Gauss. You kind of see him do stuff like that, but also I think her memory is just jaded. She really hates him, and she raises this like baby evolved Gauss thing that she names Iris. She names it after her cat. What was my point? All right, Iris, like, eats her. He absorbs her. He tries to do it when he's still kind of a little adolescent thing, and then when he's gigantic, he does pull her in. And I don't know how much of it was Gamera caring about humans, but he does save her by just ripping through Iris and deciding to pull her out. It's funny because it's just out of nowhere. He's just like, you know what? I'm doing this. And he just shoves his hand in Iris's chest, pulls her out, and the thing is, like, I don't see why he would just crush her, because he's already got her in his hand, might as well set her down. But, like, he is smart. He's not just some force of nature. When Legion has, like, these flower pod things that are meant to explode and send more Legion seeds throughout the universe. Gamera seems to, like, know that that's the point of them, and like tries to shoot them down and then pull them out of the ground and uproot them before they can blow up. So I'm pretty sure once he realized the girl got like sucked into Iris, that was probably a bad thing and he should pull her out, because Iris for some reason was gonna use her to like switch his chromosomes up and make himself evolve even further, which is really weird. It's like if Shin Godzilla needed to fucking eat somebody to do Shin Godzilla things. Just eat people because. And then probably mutate anyway. And there's a fingery guy. He does a lot of this while he's talking condescendingly to people. He seems to hate humans, and he's funny. And there's a moment where This Secretary of State or whatever seems to be obsessed with the legend of like Iris, because there's a whole mythology around him being some sacred beast that's being sealed away by a bloodline on purpose because he'll bring disaster. But she wants him to kill Gamera because she thinks Gamera is something carrying an evil spirit. And when she gets killed, Fingery Guy's like, and that, Madame, is death. It's like, what the fuck? And then he's standing there, and a part of the train station comes down on him, and he just looks up, and he's like, this is scary. And then he just lets it fall on him. He had the power to get out of there, but he was just like, eh. And he made a mana earth power measuring thing that runs on the Dreamcast. It's supposed to be a game, and he had made another game that was a big hit because it, like, forecasted weather. Yep. That's why the Dreamcast fucking died. And then there's a guy that gives Steven Seagal's daughter, because that's the girl that bonds with Gamera, is her. I kind of neglected to mention that. She wants to get to see the fight with Gamera and Gauss, and she gets this taxi cab driver to get her there. And when they're reaching a blockade to stop anybody from getting close, he just suddenly rams it out of nowhere, and he's like, ah, I always wanted to do that. And it's like, where did this come from? Like, maybe he's just losing his shit because he knows what he's driving into is not a good thing to drive into, but yeah. And then there's this guy that has, like, the worst fucking luck ever because he keeps ending up in these, like, disasters. Like, he's a cop when they're investigating the Gauss in the first one, and he's like, this is bullshit. I'm not gonna be a cop anymore, I guess. So he's a security guard for a brewery in the second movie, and Legion is like a silicone-based life form, so it keeps pulling the silicone and like glass particles and stuff into itself, so it goes into the brewery and sucks all the glass in. And you know, he's like, oh, okay, well, fuck this, I'm leaving. I need to get away from humans and all of this. And then he's not cut out for like farm work and decides to come back and just be a part of the crowd because he was afraid of being alone after all of this shit. And then fucking Iris happens. But he gets recruited to help do things. Never really clear why he was needed. I think the bird ornithologist girl from the first movie that was brought in to, like, investigate Gauss, even though Gauss is not a bird at all, she's in the third movie, and I think she just wanted to help him. And I think she and, like, one other guy that wanted Gauss to be captured and kept as, like, an exhibit and kept around to study. They're like the only ones that come back to the third movie. People sort of just disappear, which is understandable. They don't keep bringing back the same core group like the Heisei Godzilla movies do, largely when they're dealing with their monsters. Who knows, maybe they don't either. My memory meat isn't good. But these movies were. I mean, they do a lot of good camera work, and even some of the cheesier stuff in the first movie, you could tell they were being ambitious with what they wanted to do to make the fights. Make them fight. And like the third movie does a lot with CGI and looks really good. It looked as good as some of the later Godzilla movies did. I mean, I guess it was 99 around there. Well, that's when the movie takes place. It was filmed kind of before that and made. But the CGI looked good. Like it blended very well with like the suitmation and with the rest of the movie. I mean, obviously there's some shots where things stand out. Iris is like clearly either, well, I guess it's not clear if I don't know, because he was kind of either bad CGI or bad green screening when he's walking in from like a hilly area in Japan. I think it was a mix of both, but like his tendrils were animated really well at a lot of points. There's a scene at the end of the movie when a bunch of Gauss decide to like fly in and basically end Gamera once and for all, and they're animated really well too. I'm dying. There's like a cool scene where Gamera, well, it's the beginning of the movie when Gamera destroys Sendai or something, and he's in the clouds at night trying to shoot them in the sky, and that's when the cop hobo man that I was mentioning before, you first see him and he looks up and he sees that and he's like, ah, it's back. All this bullshit followed me. Yeah. It was kind of weird how the military was sort of undecided on how much they wanted to kill Gamera. But he did kind of keep destroying things. And I think after you see how he behaved in the third movie, you might want to drop a nuke on him or something and just say fuck it. It's also not clear how Gamera lives. In the first movie, it's implied he eats a bunch of plutonium. Then the third movie introduces mana and gets a little bit more mystical. Less than I remembered, because I thought it got really weird with it, but it's not that jarring and different from the first two. They just mention mana and explain that the beam Gamera used was a mana beam. And, well, now Gauss are born more when there's less mana. Whereas the first movie, it was like the Earth being fucked up by humans that allowed them to start hatching again. But the third movie says, like, no, it's mana. Like, when there's less mana from pollution and things, and Gamera making giant Kamehameha beams from his chest, it helps them hatch more, because they certainly started spreading a lot. Yeah, these movies are good. It's good CGI. Second and third movie ironed out all of like the awkwardness of the fights that the first movie had. The fight with Legion was really well done. I really liked when he was like trying to hold Legion off from attacking this helicarrier thing. And it's a pretty meaty, lengthy fight. It kind of makes up for the short ground fight with Iris, really. And Gamera does a lot of like fighting Gauss in the first movie. But, like, there's this good kaiju action in all three of them. It's a good movie overall. Yep, all three are a good movie overall. And the cinematography was really good. It looked good. The animation, the zoomation, the designs. And Gamera does a cool, like, fucking sliding thing in the second movie where he lands and, like, he can grow flippers. That's not related. He's doing his flight thingy. He's flying to get to Legion and then lands and does like a sliding landing while he's shooting fireballs at Legion. And then he kind of does like a similar landing thing where he's got like little flippies. He's got flippers and he's flying into the city in the third movie. And this time lands into the city and just says, fuck these buildings. And yeah, he extends his feet out, hits the ground and just slides through the city. Have I analyzed these enough? Maybe someday I'll do more in-depth things and then get flagged by YouTube's content ID system for using actual footage. I made a video once that had like 3 seconds of Godzilla from Tokyo SOS, and Toho got right up my ass and pulled my colon out. They blocked that shit quick. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna be using pictures in this. But yeah, they're good. I really like the human cast too. Like they were all memorable, good characters. They're pretty well written. Yep. The bird doctor, ornithologist lady. She's not a fucking doctor. Maybe she has a PhD. You don't know. You should. You saw 3 of them pretty recently. Like she's a like a nice. She's a great character. She knows about birds, and she uses what she knows about not birds, and even tells everybody, these aren't fucking birds. But I'll help you anyway. And she kind of gets tasked with finding the Gauss a lot in the trilogy, and it's like, she just does it. Kind of the only smart one in the room at times. And the cop guy was cool. It had a nice resolution to his whole whatever was going on with his life where it kept getting ruined and then not. Still don't really know what he really did to help things. That's okay. It was a pity thing and it worked for him. Well, he kind of helped the girl that hated Gamera by encouraging some kid that liked her to go help her. But then the kid just throws a knife at Iris, and it's the knife that's supposed to seal Iris away, and it doesn't do anything. It just kind of like falls down and hits the girl in the face and like gives her a small cut, and it kind of breaks her trance because she's sort of, I don't know how aware she is of Iris killing everybody, but she seems pretty connected to him when he's doing it. He even kills her like adopted family, but she kind of realizes that in a memory sequence. She's like, oh yeah, you did kind of kill them. What did you do? Because she has memory secrets inside of Iris when he absorbs her. But yeah, up till that knife hitting her in the face, she was kind of entranced by him. So that was something, but then he absorbs her anyway. And then Gamera is the one that says, I'll do it myself. And rips her right back out. There's a cat. I see her. She's being a cat loaf. These movies weren't loaf. They were good. I want more Gamera movies, damn it. They need to make more of them. I'm gonna go watch Gamera Little Brave maybe next weekend or something. That'll be a movie. I haven't seen that since 2006 at G-Fest. And it's 2022. That's a lot of years. I suck at outros and things. Maybe, sometimes you just gotta hit